We're tracking not one, not two, but three winter storms going through the middle of February. Each one of these winter storms will be capable of producing heavy snow, ice, and some heavy rainfall, which could lead to some severe weather as well. So we're going to be tracking everything for you right here on this channel. Welcome back, everyone, to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. My name is Hunter. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Follow along with all my detailed, accurate weather breakdowns on this channel as I do videos and live streams. Also, like the video if you find it informative, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to share this video with friends, family, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it. So getting into the weather forecast here in the short term, let's look at our temperature anomalies here on Super Bowl Sunday, and notice our coldest air is up here into southwestern Canada. That's where you see the deeper blues and the purples, but some colder air is starting to move further south into the lower 48. In fact, that's also all the way down into North Texas today, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, even over here into northern Mississippi with our below normal temperatures, our above normal temperatures down here into northern Mexico and along the Gulf Coast as we go through Super Bowl Sunday. So here are your highs expected this afternoon. Notice to the south across Southern California and the desert Southwest, temperatures here will be in the 70s, maybe a few 80s. Further to the north, we see the coldest of the air up here into Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. Temperatures will be in the single digits and the teens. Our wind chills this afternoon could be below zero, especially in those higher elevations, or if you're in northeastern Montana, wind chills could be a handful of degrees below zero. In the central U.S., coldest air to the north, North Dakota, Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin, temperatures will be in the single digits and the teens. Further to the south, we're still seeing the cooler air, but not as cold as further north. We're still seeing, though, the 30s and 40s, all the way down even into North Texas this afternoon. Much of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and northern Mississippi, the temperatures bottle up there into the 30s and the 40s. Down near the Gulf Coast, so we're talking coastal Texas, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, temperatures there and well into the 70s and into 80-degree territory. Now into the eastern U.S. we go. To the north, Michigan, up there into Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, we're seeing temperatures in the teens and 20s for highs. Into the Ohio Valley, mid-Atlantic coast, we're seeing temperatures as well, 30s into the 40s, and then down into the Carolinas, especially South Carolina, we're seeing temperatures in the 80s, and that extends down into Florida where mid-80s will be possible today. So looking at precipitation, kind of calm before the storm today, right? Super Bowl Sunday, you get to recline back in your chair, watch the big game between the Chiefs and the Eagles, and we're not really seeing much to worry about here, even down into the New Orleans area, outside the Superdome where the game will be played. We're really not seeing any impactful weather. In fact, we are seeing a few showers across the deep south, but nothing that will be overly significant or anything severe going through the rest of the Sunday time frame. Now, as we go into the new week, Monday, February 10th through Friday, February 14th, colder air starts to move into the lower 48, especially into Montana, where you see the purples and pinks here. Those are temperatures 30, 35 degrees below normal, and then that will seep south with time towards North Texas, where these greens are. We're looking at temperatures 10 to 15 degrees below normal, all the way down into places like Amarillo, into the Wichita Falls area, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. So looking here at the new week, we're going to have three winter storms that will be traversing through just within the next 7 days here or so. So here we go. Early on in the week, we're watching the Four Corners region for our first winter storm that'll move across portions of the Ohio Valley early this week. A bigger low-pressure system will develop here back into the Rockies and Colorado on Tuesday. That will drive a strengthening cyclone up across portions of Missouri into Illinois. We go Wednesday into Thursday, and this will take a golden path for heavy snow in Chicago, Milwaukee, back there toward Kansas City, where we could have some pretty heavy snow on the northwest side of this low-pressure track. Underneath of that, we're looking at the potential battleground between warm air and cold air, so ice will be some potential there. And then to the south and east of this track, warmer air being drawn up from the stronger low pressure cyclone will bring heavier rains and some severe weather potential. That's midweek. That moves out across southeastern Canada. And then here comes another big cyclone across the Rockies into Colorado this weekend. This one may be a little bit further north, but also pretty strong here across the Midwest and to the northwest side of this track. Heavy snow will be promised next weekend on Saturday, February 15th and Sunday, February 16th. So let's track these 3 winter storms. So here's the first one. As we go into Monday and Tuesday, notice it's a weaker one, more suppressed to the south from Kansas into Missouri, parts of Kentucky, West Virginia, seeing wintry precipitation, whether that's heavier snow or that could be some freezing rain and sleet. To the south, where you see the greens, especially the darker greens, Dallas, Fort Worth, Little Rock, Memphis to Nashville, and then over here toward Columbia, South Carolina, those areas will be seeing more heavier rains and the potential for some isolated strong to severe storms. Then as we go here into the snowfall output, you can see this storm could be giving us maybe a couple to a few inches of snow, the heaviest over here into West Virginia and Virginia. So definitely keeping an eye on that. That could give us maybe a 2 to 4 inch snow perhaps from the lower Ohio River Valley eastward to the mid-Atlantic coast. That's early on this week. Here comes the second winter storm. Here's Wednesday morning. Notice the darker blues here across Kansas into northwestern Missouri. This takes up across Kansas City to Topeka, even into Wichita, Dodge City. These areas could be seeing some heavier snows. Ice potential down here into Elk City, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Also some ice exiting across West Virginia and Virginia with our first system. And then watch as we go. Wednesday into Thursday, a heavy deformation snow band setting up from around Kirksville, Missouri, up through Davenport, into Rockford, Chicago, Milwaukee, even Grand Rapids in Michigan. Ice threat from St. Louis into Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, all the way up into Toledo. And then heavier rains into places like Tennessee, into the deep south and the Carolinas with some severe weather potential on the warm side of that system, and that will exit as we go into Friday. The second system could give us a decent swath of snow from Kansas City to Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, Grand Rapids, those areas. We could be seeing several inches of snow, even a little bit heavier. Some of the models are on this storm than the first one, so definitely keeping an eye on this. This could be the bigger of the 2 we've shown you thus far. Now, as we go into the third winter storm, that's moving in across the west, bringing heavy snows to the Sierras there on Friday morning, heavier rain into the foothill region in the lower elevations and valleys of California. Then as we go into Friday night into Saturday, heavier snows. Notice the darker blues in eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois into southern Lake Michigan. That's where the heaviest snow will be with this system Saturday into Sunday. Ice threat will be close. It'll be from Kansas City to Peoria over here into Indianapolis. Green is rain. That will be further south, and we'll be seeing heavier rains there across the deep south, Gulf Coast states, and into the southeast with the chance for some severe weather as we go into next weekend. With the third winter storm, here's the footprint for snow. We're looking at Des Moines, Iowa, to Chicago again, to Madison, Wisconsin, Green Bay to Milwaukee, over to Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Detroit, Fort Wayne, Toledo, all the way to Akron and Erie, Pennsylvania. We'll be keeping an eye on that. The ice threat will be just to the south of the snow track, and then even further south from there where you see all these whites down here. That's likely to be where the heavy rainfall will be residing with that storm. Over the 3 main winter storms we're watching between now and Monday, February 17th. This is the totality of snow we will be seeing from Nebraska, Kansas, east, northeast, through the Midwest and into the Northeast, and our friends in Southeast Canada into Southern Ontario and Quebec will be seeing their fair share of snow. Where you see these pinks, that's at least a foot of snow, and where you see kind of these lighter whites or blues, that's where we could see upwards to 2 feet, maybe even 3 feet of snow between now and Monday, February 17th. Just to the south of that, the temperatures are more marginal, so we're talking more ice potential with freezing rain and sleet. That could give us more freezing rain and sleet as far south as Texas, Panhandle, into the Amarillo area, Wichita Falls, into Oklahoma City, into Tulsa, St. Louis, Indianapolis, all the way over here into Lexington. And then heavier ice potential along the Appalachians there. We'll be keeping an eye on southern Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and then up into the Northeast at times as well. On the warm side of the system, heavy rain, but severe weather potential. Looking at heavy rainfall amounts between these three systems. In the brown shaded color here, we're looking at the rainfall amounts over 6 inches. So about 6 to 10 inches in some of these areas. Tennessee, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, North Georgia, and the western Carolinas will be the hardest hit. Wherever you see these reds here and deeper reds, that's around 2 to 4 inches worth of rain at least across much of East Texas, all the way to the eastern seaboard, going in towards that late February timeframe. Going into the third week of February, okay, the stratospheric polar vortex is going to be working in our favor. If you are cold weather and snow lovers here, we're going to get a lot of cold weather as we go into the third week of February, between February 17th and February 24th. You see where these deeper blues and especially these lighter greens are? That's where temperature anomalies during that third week of February will be 10 to 20 degrees below normal here. We're going to start to warm up a little bit and thaw out across the west, the Intermountain West, as we go into that third week of February. Looking at the height anomaly, simply put, the oranges are ridges of high pressure, and that will promote warming across the west and the Intermountain West, like we mentioned, up into western Canada. And the blues is a trough and usually some unsettled weather. That is across the east, bringing our cold weather, but also more chances for snow across the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and especially up here into the Northeast. I think the Northeast is the jackpot for snow really through the month of February, besides the Pacific Northwest. So that is what we are seeing. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video was informative for you and you took something away from it. If you did, make sure to give it a like, share this video with friends, family, and on social media. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with all my daily and detailed, accurate weather breakdowns on this channel. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure you are prepared for winter weather over the next 3 weeks or so, as the winter is not over. It is just beginning in some areas here from the Midwest into the Great Lakes, areas that haven't seen a lot of snow this winter. Get the salt ready, get the shovels ready, and get your winter coat ready, because it's going to be not only snowy, but cold as we go into later February. Thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your Super Bowl Sunday out there.